In today's video, by popular request, I'm gonna show you how to work your leads in the various stages that they end up in to move them through your pipeline. Let's dive right in. Here we are inside the CRM I use, which is ReSimpli, and I'm gonna show you how to take a lead from no contact made all the way through to under contract, whether you're gonna assign it to your buyer, it's gonna end up in your inventory as a flip, maybe a rental property, or ideally, if it's something you're selling, something you sell and turn a profit on. So this is kind of the initial home base. When leads first come into your CRM, they're gonna end up right here in no contact made. If you're using an answering service, you're gonna share with them this web form. The cool thing with the web form is it allows them to enter things into your CRM without them actually having access. And then the phone number here almost acts as like the password to access that lead. So I'm just gonna throw in kind of some quick dummy info. We're gonna say that this came off of a direct mail campaign from the SMS campaign that they have in there, sure. Address, we're gonna say this was 123 West Main Street, Pensacola, Florida. That works for me. And we are going to call that good. Now, once they click submit, the lead is gonna end up right here in no contact made. They're always gonna go oldest to newest. So newest lead is gonna be right here at the bottom. They also have this flashing new badge, which basically means there's something that's happened that you haven't looked at or you haven't reached back out to the seller. So really at this point, your goal is gonna be to get this person on the phone. This could come in from like a Facebook ad, a pay-per-click, but somebody's reached out and said, hey, Ryan, come make me a cash offer. We want to get them on the phone and get some more info. So we're either going to call them straight through the CRM, which would be through this call lead button. We can change the caller ID. So if you have like a personal follow-up number you want to use or whatever, when we click make call, it'll actually do that directly through your computer. I highly recommend using like a hardwired headset. Don't use Bluetooth and try to make sure you're in like a quiet-ish environment. If you try to just use like Apple AirPods or something or Bluetooth, you might run into kind of some connection type issues. Now I could call, or maybe I want to send a text message instead, which I could do through right here. Type whatever it is that you want in there. Hey, tried calling you and didn't get you on the phone. Give me a call back when you get a chance. Whatever it is, click send SMS. These are text messages, so you are capped to 160 characters, so you do want to be a little bit creative. Now, at this point, we don't really know what's going on with the property or the situation. We're just trying to get them on the phone. So once we've got them on the phone, we're going to move this over to contact made and click yes. And you'll notice that now moves it from left to right deeper into the pipeline. Now, a lot of properties get stuck in kind of this contact made. It could be that they have tenants they want to check with, they're out of town. This is really where it's on you to work the lead to get it to an appointment so you can actually go out and make them a cash offer. I highly, highly recommend notating every single conversation you have with super, super good details. What they said, what their cat's name is, what their favorite day of the week is. That way, if somebody else comes in and work your leads, maybe your business is growing and you hire an acquisitions manager, they're not trying to remember all of like that fluff you have rattling around in your head about that particular seller. In my personal live CRM, this is just a demo one, we have over 400 active seller leads. So if my guys tried to like remember what the person's cat name was, it's just not gonna happen. So this allows us to be super thoughtful when we're following up, hey, how was your son's surgery kind of stuff that they've given us. I do recommend using the task system here in ReSimpli. So if you are saying, hey, I need to call this person back in a week, for instance, I could say call seller in a week and assign it to, this is a demo CRM, but we're gonna assign it to Danielle, and I can pick the date. So say a week out on Friday, add task. That way on that day when she comes into work, right here on her tasks, she's going to be able to see what she has to do that day. As you get staff that are working for you in your business, this is extremely important because you can look at things like their past due, right? So if they're, for instance, call, lead, and make an offer. If Danielle worked for me and this was a real CRM, I'd be pissed that she has all of these people that she's never made an offer on. So that kind of lets you audit, is your staff using the CRM correctly or not? Now that we've got them into contact made, let's assume that we then get them booked to an appointment. So again, with this drop down here in the top right, we're going to move it over to appointment set and, meeting at house, whatever you want to title the appointment. And then you're going to pick the date and time. So we'll say 5 p.m. and update status. So you'll notice it's now gone from no contact made into appointment set. And these are the ones that we're starting to get kind of excited about, right? We're getting pretty close. One of my rules with my staff anytime they run an appointment is they have to take pictures of the property, take detailed notes, and throw that all in over here. That way, any single lead in my CRM, I can pull up the pictures, look at it, see if I agree with their estimation of repair costs and all of that, as well as see kind of how the appointment went, any new, motivation or anything like that that they uncovered. Once the property ends up in appointment set, our next goal is to make an offer on the property. Now, I realize not everybody runs physical appointments. It's how my staff chooses to do business. That's what we found to work for us. So maybe you're going to go straight from contact made to offer made. That's totally fine. But for us, we're using the appointments. You're going to put in here the offer price. So we'll say, $150,000, and that I made the offer on today's date. Now, once we come back over here, we can now see that the offer was made. So again, we're just trying to work stuff from left to right. And I do some follow-up with the seller and I get the property under contract. Now, let's say hypothetically, though, that didn't happen. There's a couple things you can do. Like if I want to mark this as a hot lead, what that does when I'm in the CRM, I can click this hot lead button and it'll only highlight the ones that I've triggered that on. So like in our CRM, we have 400 plus. That's a good way for us to who are we close to getting a deal on that we want to make sure doesn't slip through the cracks. But let's assume you got that from a hot lead over to you got the property under contract and that they accepted your offer of 150 grand and update status. Now, at this point, it's really kind of up to you on what your exit strategy with the property is. If you're wholesaling the deal or even double closing it, you're going to move it over to assigned to buyer. If it's a property that you're personally closing on, you're going to move it over to inventory, which would move it over to the inventory dropdown. And if it's, you're basically going to go to assigned to buyer or inventory. Once we're in inventory, we're going to decide whether this is a fix and flip, a rental property, a wholesale, etc. So let's say, just kind of for the sake of argument here, that this is a fix and flip and that we've just bought the property, we haven't started construction on it, and that we bought it today for 150 grand. Now, one of the important things with any tool like this, good data in is good data out. I realize I just did data and data. Y'all can live with it. But you can see now the property is no longer in this workflow. It's moved to the properties that are in inventory, meaning that we own it. Now, the reason why you want to update all of these different statuses, like I could have immediately moved this to under rehab, but I've had instances in my own business where we buy a property and it sits for a week before construction starts. Because we were accurately tagging these, we were able to catch on to the fact that properties were sitting. We were burning a good amount on holding costs because things like materials or cleanouts, that kind of stuff wasn't being lined up prior to close, which it totally could be. So then you can simply move it through the rest of the pipeline. If it's a flip, we're going to then go and say, hey, we've started construction today because our business is super, efficient. And the other thing that's neat, they track when you started as well as when you finish. So you can see, are you meeting your expectations or not? So I expect this to finish a week from now. Maybe it's a really light carpet and paint kind of a thing. And you can upload files and all kinds of things of that nature if you want to track before and afters and all that. But I could spend like an hour going through every feature of this, but this is what was requested of how we're moving a seller from start to under contract. Now, if it's that fix and flip, we could come in here and say, okay, rehab is done and we are listed for sale, and we're listed for sale at 175 grand. This isn't going to update itself. This is stuff you've got to hold yourself accountable to doing. Now that it's listed for sale, let's assume, hey, we listed it and somebody liked it right away. They actually bid it up to 182,000, and we expect it to close next Friday because they're buying with cash. We could then come through and say, okay, hey, it's sold, and it's sold for 185,000. Obviously, these are all just made up numbers and dates. But once that's done, we can see all of kind of this info. When did the rehab start? When did we expect it to finish? When did it go on the market? Gives you a lot of really good data to identify potential areas for improvement inside of your business. I hope you found this helpful. Hopefully you guys are enjoying ReSimpli as much as I am. Talk to you guys next time.